You said you were over it.
Okay.
You said I forgive you. You said you want to move on. But your actions kind of say that you're reliving this past hurt every single day. I can't fully communicate with you because I don't trust you with my heart.
Ooh, that was a
and it's
deep
when
one
my
for us.
heart is in its most vulnerable state, I can't bring it to you because I don't trust you with it.
One thing with me that has helped me is I have what I call a transition phase. So in between getting off work and going home, that has to be some sort of transition where I either listen to music, where I pray, whether I talk to somebody. Sometimes I get in the car and just talk to her, and I'm like, anything good happen to you, anything funny? And she'll tell me a funny story, and then that gets me ready to deal with coming home and now being more open to communication or talking to somebody that, gets you out of one mode into the other. Welcome to today's episode of Relationship Talk with the Geths, where we dive deep into topics that are essential for building strong and resilient relationships. We're your hosts, Ed and Maya Geths, and today we're going to tackle a common issue that many couples face: communication breakdowns. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, click the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you won't miss the new content. All right, communication breakdowns can happen for a variety of reasons, but they all have one thing in common. They can erode the foundation of trust and intimacy in a relationship if not addressed.
There's a quote that's attributed to Harriet Tubman, and although many historians believe otherwise because they say it doesn't really sound like wording she would have used, the quote really does make you think. This is the quote right here. "I freed 1,000 slaves, and I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves."
Ooh,
The Bible says in Hosea 4:6 that people are destroyed because there's a lack of knowledge. So a relationship cannot be sustained without the knowledge that you gain from proper communication. When communication starts to break down, there's also a breakdown in what you know and learn about each other, and destruction follows. How can we nip this in the bud before it festers and destroys? Well, there are some common signs of communication breakdown. Frequent arguments, feelings of frustration or resentment, avoidance of difficult topics, and a sense of distance or disconnect. Those are just a few. Like, everybody feels that from time to time. Sometimes we get so busy lifing that we sweep the signs right under the rug. Other times we become so comfortable in dysfunction that we don't even recognize the signs. We know because we've experienced all of these in our marriage.
Yes, we have.
So what's changed is how we respond when we see the signs now.
Yes.
Since we've been actively working to improve our communication skills, like, these signs are loud and glaring like sirens. So, babe, what you think about that?
You can say that again. We know all of those signs. And I will say, thank God for honest, open, and tough conversations. It takes some work. It takes some work. So now the response is different. The recognition. Boy, I got tripped up there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about having a chokehold.
Because I was reliving some of them.
Come on, get it right.
Yeah, the recognition of when we see those signs is so much better. And that has prevented, like, that reaction, that chain reaction that usually happens when you react, then you fester, then you react some more, then it festers, and then it explodes. We've avoided the festering part, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, recognizing the signs is important, but it's just the beginning.
Yes.
Because the next step, it's hard to take. Like, once you have the knowledge that there's a breakdown, you have to address it.
Yes.
It's so hard.
It is.
But it's so necessary.
It is.
Where do these breakdowns even come from? Let's explore some underlying root causes of communication breakdowns.
Ooh, we digging in it.
We're going to go ahead and get
dig
in
in it. Okay.
So one cause is differences in communication styles.
Ooh.
This is big for us because our styles are vastly different. Like, how do you like to communicate?
That's how different I start.
Tell the people how you like to communicate. Talk about it.
I'm confrontational. I like to confront the situation. I think every difference, I guess, I don't know if that's the competitor because I'm an athlete. I don't want to blame it on that, but everything feels like, oh, okay, you disagree. Now I have to prove my point to win. Oh, she's challenging me. Now I got to prove that I'm, I don't know, tougher. She didn't threw a sharp word at me. Now I feel like I got to throw one back, and it just becomes a tug of war almost.
See, I don't even know that if you being confrontational is the difference, because I don't mind confronting.
You do not.
Like, I don't mind. Like, I prefer to confront.
It's a different type of confront.
It's the energy that's brought when we confront the issue at hand.
That's true. You think you saying I put more emotion?
You are very emotional in your communication.
And see, that's the thing too. I had to learn to accept that, because as a man, you don't want to hear that you're emotional. Like, you've been taught all your life, no, hide them emotions. Don't cry, don't be this, don't be that. But it comes out in different ways that you don't realize. Crying isn't the only emotion. That's one thing I think as a man I had to learn. Mm-hmm. And that, I don't know, anger is an emotion, frustration is an emotion, and tackling those and understanding that's hindering the communication.
I also feel like that you get, when you communicate, you like to communicate with a lot more details than I do.
Yeah.
You like to give a lot of details, and he wants to receive a lot.
That's true.
And I'm so different.
True.
I'm like, only give me.
It takes some time to communicate with me.
Only give me meat, potatoes. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want all the extra fixings.
Yes.
And I don't want to communicate with you like that. I don't want to tell you
I want
all
the
those
side
things.
dish. I want, the garnishes. I want everything. Throw it all in there so we can get this right. And you're like, no, none of that is necessary with me.
So I guess it comes down to the goal of why we're communicating, and who is trying to get who to understand what. I know if I really want him to understand what I'm saying, that I'm going to have to give more words, more details. And if he wants me to understand, he's going to have to take some of that fluff out, because I can't follow it.
Now, you talk about words. Now, if there's no clarity with you, you will ask more questions. And then I get even more frustrated, because I felt like I'd put a lot of words, and she was like, nope, I
don't get it.
I'd be like, what? I told you. And then I say the same exact thing. You're like, you said that. And I think that can sometimes bring about frustration. I got to learn, okay, what is the deeper meaning of what she's trying to say? Again, remove the fluff for her, add a little more for me. Yeah, we learned that.
Figure it out. Mm-hmm. Another cause of communication breakdown is unmet emotional needs. I can't fully communicate with you because I don't trust you with my heart.
Ooh, that was a
and it's
deep
when
one
my
for us.
heart is in its most vulnerable state, I can't bring it to you because I don't trust you with it. What you think about that?
Wow, this almost brings back a real deep issue we had. We always put our stuff out there for you guys.
Got to.
We do. Like, there was so many times where I didn't know that you were even in a vulnerable state. And she may come to me one time and I just, fumble. And then that locks her up, and she don't come back for a long time. And she's dealing with a lot of things that I have no ideas, because when she was in her vulnerable state, I was not attentive, or I just didn't handle it the right way.
Yeah, and it caused me to shut down where he was concerned. And so I fought through a lot of stuff on my own, even though he was my partner and my best friend. He did not know how to handle me when I was vulnerable. He handled me the way he wanted to be handled.
Correct.
Which is not at all what I needed. When I am in that space, words are the last thing that I need.
Correct.
Like, I don't want to hear you say anything to me. I want to... So I had to figure out what I needed, because it was unfair for me to expect him to know that when I'm in that space, I just need you to hold me. And if I ask you a question, answer it, frankly, without a lot of fluff, and move forward in that. Just be in the space with me. I don't want you talking. We can be silent. I just need you to rub on me and sit in the space with me and just exist in the space, which is so hard for him to do. It's hard for him to be quiet. And so I think in the beginning, I wasn't even sure that what I did need. I just knew that what he was doing wasn't working, and it was making things worse. I'm so he's so not used to me being vulnerable that when I was, he thought it was a joke and he'll laugh it off.
I would blow it off. Girl, you're going to be all right. You're all right. Yeah.
And so that would piss me off.
Don't do that.
And so,
don't do that.
So I was like, no, I don't trust him. And so we really had to work through this and talk through this. And I had to continue to offer myself to him in that space for him to get it right.
It was either
I didn't want to.
It was either that or I give you a basketball motivational speech. Like Coach Smith said, listen, it doesn't matter, who gets the credit as long as we work together as a team. And you're like, that's the face.
It's just like the worst, I just should have gone to the bathroom and cried myself to sleep, because he just made everything worse.
I know.
Why am I here? Why are we doing this?
I treated her like one of my players, and I cannot do that.
It's so terrible.
Where to learn?
Do you feel like I handle you well when you're vulnerable?
You do. That's one of the things. She was doing better at it than I was. She was very good at handling me when I was vulnerable. Now, sometimes she didn't handle me well when I was upset. she would poke the bear. And I don't know, to this day, I think she did it for fun. She said she didn't. She didn't know, but I know. You still bad?
Boy, big angry bear. You too big to be mad like that.
That's what
Get over it.
Big thing is 6'5".
Once you hit 6'5" and keep on growing, you lose your right to a lot of stuff. You're just too big to be doing all of that.
I can't do any of that. You 6'5".
Entirely too big to be doing that.
That's her one.
Be mad, big mad self. Mad.
Really? We gotta go do that. Don't do that.
Oh my goodness. I can't. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. Look. You gonna take a sip? Kermit.
Because I'm reliving those moments right now.
Oh goodness. Let me move on. So, another cause is past traumas or unresolved conflict.
Yes. Well, you really digging in today. I wasn't expecting to go this deep.
You said you were over it.
Okay.
You said, I forgive you. You said you want to move on. But your actions kind of say that you're reliving this past hurt every single day. I know that some of y'all can feel what I'm talking about. Because in your mind, you really do. You want to move on. You want things to work. But it's they keep doing these little things that bring it all back. And you can't move past it.
Yeah.
So what do you think are some keys? How do you actually, when you say I forgive you and I move on, how do you actually do that?
I think you have to put your full hurt on the table. I don't think people put their full hurt. And what I mean by that is when somebody says, hey, I'm sorry and let's move on, sometimes you're saying, okay, I forgive you because you either want to move to the next day, maybe you got something planned, or you're about to see family, or you're about to go to work and you don't.
So you just press on.
Yeah, you just press on, but you don't heal. And you really need to take that full moment and say, listen, I hear you, but I still have to process some things. I got to know what you were thinking. I got to be in touch with what I'm feeling and fully let you know this is how you hurt me. I think that's a thing people don't really say.
Because they want to be hard.
They want to
like,
be
I ain't
hard.
even going to let him know he bothered me like that.
Right. Like, you know what? It's okay. You know what? I'll be okay. No, you won't. Like, nah, I'm really hurt over this one. Like, I might cry.
So you're saying, like, if you feel a way, don't be in such a hurry to move on.
Correct.
Just say, like, yes, I'm going to forgive you.
Yes.
I'm going to get through this, but these are the steps that I need to go through.
Yeah,
to heal.
Don't hurt back. That's the key thing.
Ooh,
that's
you
what
talking to me.
Yeah. Like, if you aren't ready to accept the apology or accept the move past it phase, what you can't do is in turn think of vengeance. You can't be
vengeance is mine, said the
said the Lord.
And mine said Maya.
See,
like, you can't add that in.
You cannot add that.
Vengeance
No, he don't need no help. Never has, never will.
But we're supposed to be trying to be like him.
Right.
So we want the vengeance.
No, we don't want that.
That's not it. Acting like Medea.
See what I'm saying? She done twisted the Bible already. We want to be more like you, Lord. I'm going to take some vengeance. No, not that part. No. So don't take vengeance as you go through your healing, but fully heal so that when you say you moved on, you move on. My wife, she wrote a book. I didn't do this. She did. Wrote a book and related marriage to basketball.
Y'all, this book is so amazing. It's about basketball and love and basketball. Oh my God.
She took the concept of basketball and mixed it with relationship and marital advice and backed it with scripture.
We want to talk about the book Basketball, God's Playbook for Marriage. What an awesome book written by Maya Geths. We went through the book live at the 2024 marriage retreat with the Geths. What a blessing it was to us.
So for me, we discussed this topic about dribbling, which really equates to love languages. So the one thing that I'll take away is that out of all of those love languages that we covered, first and foremost, I realized that my wife does a tremendous job of demonstrating those love languages toward me. So I'm gonna really work hard to start demonstrating more of those love languages toward her because she deserves it.
Look, I'm going to be honest with y'all because, look, I'm going to keep it real. Like, that is the first thing I want to do. I'm like, there's no way for you to understand how you make me feel unless I show you.
Right.
Let me show you how I feel.
Let me show you how it made me feel. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that scene in Drumline. You don't know how that feel? Let me show you. And you walked off. Yeah, I was like, ooh, that's cold. Like, that's cold. No,
I get that.
You need a conversation. Fully put that out there.
I agree. I know it's not right. Help me, Lord. See, he ain't through with me yet. Because, I get the urge to get me some get back.
See, we working on this together with y'all. Come on.
I be wanting that get back.
Pray for her. Yeah, she is the get back. Clap toward that clap back queen.
Look, if you feel me, if you like me, put get back in the chat.
Yes.
Get back. But we going to pray for each other. Put get back so I can pray for you and then you pray for me.
Right.
Maya, calm down. Because vengeance is the Lord's and not yours.
Correct.
So another cause of communication breakdown is external stressors like work and family pressure.
Now we talking to me. Now we talking to me.
Amen.
Now we talking to me.
Go ahead.
Ooh, I don't need. Let me drink.
What you gonna start with, work or family pressure? And those aren't the only two. I mean, tons of external stressors, but work and family. I'm
gonna go with work because I work in a high stress job. You do too, but you do a great job of not bringing yours home. I definitely bring mine home. I'm a teacher, a mentor to at-risk youth. I'm a coach. And so all of those at any given day, I'm bringing home some situation that happened. Some kid done cussed me out. I'd have had to break up several fights. The team had a bad practice. We lost a game we should have won. We got blown out by a team we shouldn't have. Or, all kind of things. I had to kick a kid off the team. And sometimes you're reliving that over and over because you want to question every decision you made. And it's hard to walk into the house and there are some things that probably need work at home. And then you got to turn one off, turn the other one on, and you hadn't quite figured out that problem at work, and now you come home and it's like, the AC needs fixing. I need you to call. Did you call this person to come fix the pipes in the house? Little Junior acting up in school today. You got to talk to him. Oh, boy. And I got to keep from killing him while I'm still frustrated with work. All of those come into play, and then she may come and say, listen, we need to talk. Oh, about what? Not now. And you got to do it.
So one thing is me being aware of the stressors that he has. And if I'm going to say we need to talk, timing is everything.
Ooh.
And so I would say that I compartmentalize very well because I do wear a lot of hats. I multitask well. And so I don't have an issue with not bringing work home or not, I'm not really like hyper emotional. And so if I am having a family issue, that doesn't really bleed over into my house. But I will say that what affects me the most is my energy is spent. So even though I don't allow the stress of outside things to hit me, what I will do is deplete my energy. And then I have a husband and children that need my energy, and I don't have any. And so I have to be conscious of that and prioritize, what gets my energy throughout the day. I have to, cut some people off, cut some conversations off. Say, no, we can't discuss this today because you're gonna zap my energy, and my husband gonna need a little bit of that tonight. So I'm gonna need to leave here and leave this where it is and go home because I still have to get my kids together and cook and see about my man. And so that has been something I've had to learn into because I'm one of those, I go, but then when I'm done, I'm done.
Right.
I ain't got nothing else.
Right.
So y'all could do whatever you got to do. So that's, I think for me, it wouldn't be like mental, emotional stress as much as zap of energy.
So that back to like what I was saying with work stress, and that's very good. I agree with everything you said. One thing with me that has helped me is I have what I call a transition phase. So in between getting off work and going home, that has to be some sort of transition where I either listen to music, where I pray, whether I talk to somebody. Sometimes I get in the car and just talk to her, and I'm like, anything good happen to you, anything funny? And she'll tell me a funny story, and then that gets me ready to deal with coming home and now being more open to communication or talking to somebody that, get you out of one mode into the other.
And knowing that about yourself is important.
Yes.
And your spouse knowing that about you is important. So when you are not emotional, when you are not spent, when you're in a good and happy place, have the conversation about what it takes to help you transition from one to the next. Like when I am stressed and bogged down, this is what I need from you. Be really frank and honest about that. And then try to meet those needs.
Foot rubs. No, I'm just playing.
You talking about what I need? Rub my feet, put me to sleep, please.
Foot rubs.
Or put me to sleep. There we go.
Yeah, let y'all figure that out.
There are many other causes of communication breakdown. Understanding the root causes can help couples identify areas of improvement and develop targeted strategies for better communication. So how do we improve our ability to understand the root causes and work through the breakdowns in the most healthy way? How do we not only go through trials, but grow through trials? Use your reflective listening techniques. We've talked about this. We have. So we talk about reflective listening all the time because taking the time to really master it has been one of the most impactful, I think, investments that we've ever made in our marriage.
Absolutely.
It takes effort and practice, but it's worth it. So some of the techniques includes paraphrasing, summarizing. You ask clarifying questions, practicing empathy, demonstrating understanding. You validate the other person's perspective. And I love that it encourages us as listeners to actively engage in listening rather than simply waiting for the other one, to talk so we can talk. Just hurry up and get done so I can, give you what my point is.
Yes.
So when you when you're listening for understanding, you can identify root causes of communication breakdowns. So we have something to offer, and I'm super excited to tell you about it. But I gotta be real, it's not for everybody. Some people love conflict. So if you enjoy fussing and fighting, then what we have, it's not really for you. If you like going, back to your friends, complaining about how miserable you are, then this is not really for you. If you got a kick, you just get a kick out of turning your back to your spouse in the bed like that in hopes that they won't touch you, and you pretending that you sleep and you faking a headache. If that's your thing, then you don't need this right here.
You do not.
If your marriage is already perfect, you don't need to improve anything.
Okay.
Any areas, then you can go ahead and X out now.
Yep.
But if you're like us, you're imperfect, and you refuse to just go through the monotonous motions of marriage.
Can't do it.
You're committed to working for the marriage that you desire.
Right.
You already understand that marriage doesn't work if you don't.
You don't.
Sometimes it feels like the harder we fight to have a happy marriage, the harder our spouses fight against us. We used to be there. We did. God gave us the tools to get better. God has blessed us to take what we've learned about communication over several years and package it in a way that you can acquire the same skills in weeks. Thank God for quantum leaps. Sudden dramatic advance. Like sudden. So this is for the serious and not the curious. How many of you feel like your relationship would greatly benefit if you just learn to speak respectfully? How about being fully understood when you speak? What about being able to hear and fully understand? Right. Somebody say, hear me out.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. If you join us on this amazing journey and you both stay committed until the end, you'll have all the tools that you need to communicate effectively in good times and through conflict. You'll know which communication style works best in your relationship. You'll begin your mastery of reflective listening and avoid words that destroy and be able to choose words that build. You'll have the tools that you need to use right here in this quantum leap 6-week experience called Hear Me Out, Head, Ears, and Respect.
Come on.
It includes fun and energetic weekly video guidance that'll walk you through activating your heart, your head, your hands as you learn to improve your communication skills. A downloadable workbook, which includes key quotes and notes that follow along with the videos, journal prompts, and workspace. A communication style assessment, reflective listening action plan, supportive marital affirmations, a guide to overcoming common marital changes, access to our Facebook marriage encouragement group, the One Vision house party. We have a good time in house party.
We have a good time, and y'all want to be in there.
Our goal is to always over-deliver. So as our mentor says, you can live your life one of 3 ways. Sinking, surviving, or thriving.
Thrive.
Our passion in ministry is to help as many couples as possible have a Christ-centered, blissfully happy marriage that thrives.
Yes.
So for more information about Hear Me Out, our coaching services, other courses, marriage tools, events, and getaways, go to onevisionerc.com. That website again is onevisionerc.com. If you had a good time hanging out with us and you got something out of it, go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Like it so we'll know you enjoyed it, and share it with somebody so they can be blessed too. And we'll see you next time.